Greetings, I am Fusion Master Corey Russell, and the following game features a game of excellent positional technique combined with uh, a nice tactic near the end to finish things up. And both the tactic and the positional technique used to convert my advantage was instructive. So let's go over the game. I was white against an expert. We go into the open Sicilian defense. The picture says e4 is best by test, although really it's a matter of preference. If you like tactical play, e4 is very good. Before a more slower game, d4 is pretty good. So a3 is a common move here, so that we don't go into the bishop b4 stuff. Kind of goes into Schwendigen usually. Here, Boffinnick's queen c7 is probably, if Bach doesn't want to just go straight up and just in a Schwendigen, d6, it's probably the way to go. He does this. Unfortunately, this allows white to get um, advantage because of this, the way I play it out here. So one thing to know is that if Black can get e5 in, he's equal, no question. So it's important that White get e5 first, because this, and the reason why is because it entombs the Black bishop. Plus, d6 is possibly used for my pieces as well. So of course we don't want to trade. We want to, again, we want to control d6. We stop bishop c5, which would be his best pose. So that, and maybe knight g5, depending on things play out. So this is the way we want to go. Now we don't want to take, because if we take, and then he goes, let's say, anything, let's say he goes e5. Now his bishop's out of the game. We don't want his bishop to get out. Remember, it's just kind of our little plus. So instead, we gain a tempo because we're threatening a fork on f7. This is a powerful knight. We definitely want to kick him. I think b6 might be a better square if he went c7. So this stops bishop c5, which is kind of important. And another possibility is if I get time, I want to play bishop b6, which will fix his pawns and again makes his light square bishop terrible, as well as it attacks the knight, which at the moment has nowhere to go. Attacks my knight. So I said, well, I'm just finish him off here. You should do b5, just g6. h4. Prince is nice enough to give me an exclamation for that, although it looks pretty straightforward to me. And the main point of this is now, next move, I can go to bishop b6 and attack that knight. Fritz pointed out that this is actually the best way to respond. And the point is, you can't go here, gotta just take the bishop. But if he does nothing, and let's say he goes here, here, let's see, it depends, here, and then now his bishop's trapped. So Fritz is correct, of course. I should have done knight h3. I didn't actually see that, so I played knight f3, which is still a good move, just not quite as good as played here. So here he's starting to do b6, bishop b7, and free his position. And if he can get that in, he's surely equal. I said, well, let's do a pawn stack. And I was hoping he missed the pin, which he did. He should have gone king d8 and it's just equal, but he mistakenly played the bishop. I'm like, oh, good. Okay, I'll take that pawn. So now he's tied down here. I don't want to get to c6, so I curve up my knight. So here I saw some kind of nasty stuff that he can play like, so let's say I do something. Let's say here. You can play stuff like this, and then bishop thing, my knight scene, and I think he gets equality. So like, so well, And so let's just get out of that totally. And so let's get out of the discovery. First says bishop e8. So here's a good question for the student. Is it better to take the bishop or not take the bishop? And in this case, not taking the bishop is actually stronger. The reason why is, for one thing, the two c pawns, which normally are a weakness, are isolated and doubled. They actually greatly restrict the enemy pieces. In addition, if I win the b pawn, which I probably will, because it's going to be a lot of pressure on it shortly, then I get to pass c pawn. And so in this case, double pawns is actually much stronger. He should not have taken the bishop. By the way, Fritz says I'm winning here, which is interesting. I mean, I know I have an advantage, but Fritz insists I'm winning. So of course, attack the pawn, and naturally he defends. I connect my rooks. Then I do a nice tactic here, knight c6. He can't take, of course, because rook takes b8 wins the exchange. So he must go here. And now I'm triple hitting b7, so at the very least, I'm going to get a pawn. All right. Next series of moves here. Try to defend. So the question is, which is stronger, bishop or knight? I eventually decided that it's okay for him to take my knight instead, because the bishop would be pretty strong in limiting the enemy rooks. Plus, it could see where I can protect it with the c pawn, and that would be pretty strong. The other thing too is knight take forces him to take. Otherwise, I get to d6, which would be a devastating knight. He can't allow that. So of course he can't allow that, so he takes. I take the bishop. By the way, there is no tricks. Like there's no this, for example. I'm trying to double hit my bishop because I have the intermediate check, and then I'll take the knight. So there is no tricks. Which is not good for him. So naturally I say, okay, get the other rook with open file. He'd like to challenge me, but he can't, because bishop c6 would pin the rook if he tried it. So here I'm like, how to make progress? Well, that a pawn looks mighty vulnerable. It looks like if I could just double on it, it looks like I would pick it off. He's starting to win a pawn on rook c7. So okay, fine. Let's back up the bishop here. I went here because I want to stop a4. I want to keep that pawn where it is. Plus, I want to stop rook d7 too. Notice this poor knight is not a whole lot of squares here. So I could take, of course, but that would give him a file to work with, maybe. So instead, I like restricting his king, although it's only temporary. Check. Undoes my pawns, threatening queening. So connecting the pawns as soon as possible seems important. Stopping his knight f4 check, knight d5 seemed important, so I took a timeout. Stop that. He's nowhere to go, so I came back. Now this threatens a very powerful tactic, which black did not see. Slam. So sacks a rook for a pawn, but after c7, the point is I queen one way or another. So if he goes here, I'll queen like this. That's a pretty easy win. If he takes a bishop, I'll get two queens, so that can be good. But otherwise, and the knight can't do anything helpful here. The pawn d7 is protected by the bishop. So despite him able to win my rook and bishop, it doesn't do him any good. He does a check for the heck of it, I guess. Does some checks. So I'm at pawn, hoping I'll do queen on d8. And of course, I'm going to queen c8, not d8. And now it's obvious. Game's over. In fact, I'm threatening making one on a queen e8 check. So he resigned. So hopefully that game enjoyed that game against the expert, and I'll see you guys next time.